Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, allegedly. Although it's starting to feel like I make the exact same video every 3 or 4 weeks under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. You must be getting bored stiff sitting here hearing me say the exact same things, discussing the exact same problems, and the fact we're not changing or adjusting those problems. Everyone is losing their minds apart from those that's in charge of Rangers as they continue to see this as the way forward for this football club. And we've now got to a stage where we lose in McDermott Park. We lose to St Johnstone 2-1, and it's not even a surprise. Like, genuinely, it's no a surprise, it's no a shock. Look at yesterday's preview video. I was called out by a lot of people who regularly watch this channel, me and they. I recognise the names. A lot of you were calling me out saying you didn't look as confident, you're not as talking as confident. It feels like you're lost faith. Well, do you see why? No, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I mean? I looked at this game and I was screaming warning signs. That's why we talked about it in yesterday's preview video. But I was just clinging on to the hope that we'd be able to do enough and get over the line. But we can't keep kicking the can down the road. We got away with that after weeks after weeks after weeks of that. And now we just continue to stutter. We just continue to stumble. And that is what we are doing right now. We are absolutely stumbling from game to game. We'll have a good game, we'll have 3 bad ones, we'll have a good game, we'll have 3 bad ones, and I'm just sick to death now, ladies and gentlemen. And if, honestly, my thoughts and opinions after that game is if there's no changes done now, if Giovanni survives this, honestly, I have absolutely no idea what's going on with our football club. Solomon Grundy wouldn't be able to come back for this one. And I genuinely hate that I'm sitting here saying that, people, because I wanted this man to be a success at this football club so badly. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, people. Football isn't always a plain science. When you think something's going to work, it doesn't mean. We're no wizards, we're no witches, we didn't have special powers, we can't guarantee success. It looked good on paper when you had his tactical tweaks in European football, built on the hard work that was done by Gerrard and Michael Beale in terms of physicality and getting these players as fit as they could possibly be. All that work that was done in pre-season, it was a perfect match last season in terms of the European run and ending with a trophy. There were still a lot of warning signs in league football, and I talked about that a lot on the channel, slaughtered a lot for that, especially our away form, which under Giovanni has been simply nothing short than absolutely pathetic. I think you can count on one hand how many promising or how many perfect or how many good performances away from home under Gio we've had in league football. Honestly, I'll give you a couple seconds to try and name a couple. There's no too many at that. And aye, people, we had that balance when we had all the hard work that was done by Gerrard and co in that season in Gio, and it looked like it could be something. I was hoping we would do more work in pre-season, again stick to the physicality and fitness that had built us success and built us to the team that we were. But then we started hearing stories, then we started seeing it, that the players want to be doing a lot of fitness work. It was a lot more on the ball technique. Scotty Arfield came out and said that and confirmed that and everything like that. It's been a lot more on the ball work, and the players had to do a lot of the fitness work away from it and on their own time and everything like that. And listen, we didn't need to be confirmed in press conferences for this guy or this guy. We watch every single second of this team play. We have went through it together. We know for a fact that that team is a shell of itself in terms of physicality and fitness. I didn't need somebody to come out and tell me in a press conference and lie to me in a press conference. I can see what's wrong with this team, people. It is clear as day, and I'm an idiot. So the ends that actually knows football and knows the game and is in charge of the game, the fact that they're watching this continue to stink and sink and sink and sink and sink and sink and not do anything, it's very, very worrying. And it's getting to the stage now, people, if it continues to go like this, the Rangers board may as well just send a letter. Instead of a birthday card, just send the middle finger to every single Rangers fan, because that's exactly what it's feeling like right now if they didn't do nothing new and sort this. Because again, it's not just Giovanni, but Ross Wilson needs to go as well, as he's helped facilitate and bring in these players and sell these players on and bring on this and do this and do this. He needs to go as well. And I know it's only the 1st of November and I'll get people shouting at me and swearing at me for saying what I've said already in today's video, but there is nothing that's saying to me that we can start turning things around and change things. And that we had one good game versus Aberdeen. I was so excited, I was so infused, I was so positive, saying, right, that's the standard now. Then the standard drops out at the next game week and we lose that high press, we lose that, and it's just like, what's the point? ladies and gentlemen? Can we only perform when teams put 2 up top and go for it, Ibrox? Is that the only time that we can perform and we're going to sit and happy clap that? It's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I know the injury list is long as anything, and we've got another one, yes, now, and people can make excuses and all that about that. But again, that falls on the shoulders of a Giovanni and a Ross Wilson. Again, no in terms of the individual injuries, but they put themselves in this position. They were happy with the squad. Most of the injury list is long-term injuries they knew about before a ball was kicked this season. They let the guys like a Katic, a Leon Balogun, all these boys leave the football club, just walk out there, and they said, I'm happy with that. And now we've got an 18-year-old laddie who's taken absolute beatdowns week upon week upon week, who again shouldn't be getting this much game time. He's not ready for this amount of game time, and I just hope Leon King's able to bounce back when we obviously start to re-establish the ship and get us back order when players actually get fit and he ends up coming out the team, because he's getting tore to shreds every single game. And I just hope the young lad is mentally strong enough to know that he can still become a player, because he's nowhere near the finished article or anything like that. And you just look at it and how we've put ourselves into this position, it's genuinely shambolic from every single aspect. But where I've had issues in terms of going about our business, being slow and passive and pathetic and everything like that for the majority of the games this season, we actually had chances in this game. We actually created numerous. We had 20 corners, people. But even when we're doing stuff like that, there's also the frustration, because you can see it. We are so rigid in what we do. We do not change or adjust anything. 20 corners in the game. Not one single corner in swinging, actually putting the defence and goalie under pressure. Even when the boy's sitting here like a CJ Novo regen with his cap on in the sun, he can't see, we still never put a ball on that boy's forehead, people. It is absolutely incredible to me that there's professional football players and the guys that's making these chances says, Ken what, that boy's struggling to see and he keeps shouting to his defence that he can't see. Maybe one of these corners that we're getting, maybe just cross it into him and see what happens. It's embarrassing that we have absolute no imagination and no creativity. We are so drilled into doing one thing and one thing only that even common sense doesn't have a place in this Rangers team. And that's the biggest frustration. You can go through every single aspect, but we have to do one thing and one thing only. And when plan A doesn't work, do you know what plan B is? They plan A better. And that's what we saw in this game. We got to see 2 up front in this game. Versus St Johnstone, we had Morelos and Cholak on. We made several other attacking substitutions. Did we start playing through the middle, getting people in there, trying to ask some questions? No, we never. We bypassed the 2 strikers and continued to funnel it and force it out wide. That's genuinely probably the tipping point for me when I saw that even when we go 3-5-2 or whatever that formation was at the end, our entire structure is still built upon forcing the ball wide. We have nothing else. There's no imagination, no creativity, and that is why I think there is a change that needs to be made, because it is well and truly figured out. No one, and again, I'm going to give a lot of respect to St Johnstone. I talked them up in the preview and everything like I thought they were playing well. I was speaking to a lot of people off camera and everything like saying this game is very, very dangerous for us right now. I didn't like this game for us right now, and you've got to give them credit, but at the same time as they just picked up the Davy Martindale book that he painted just a week or 2 ago and says, alright, we'll just do that. We're just going to prepare all week for Rangers to force the ball out wide and cross it over and over and over and over and over and over again. We'll just make sure we have 3 centre-halves in the middle, attacking the 6-yard box, attacking every ball that comes in, because they didn't do anything else. And that's embarrassing that we are so easily figured out that no one has anything to think about. Imagine how easy it is to scout a Rangers football team. Honestly, they're stealing money, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I'll be a scout. No worries. Who are we playing next week? I'll be a scout for them. I'll tell you how they're going to play. They're going to cross it. Put 3 centre-halves to attack the 6-yard box. There's your job done. He could sit and play foot champs all week, people. He's got nothing today, and that's embarrassing. That we are a football team in this league that's supposed to be challenging and going forward and wanting to win things. We are so easily figured out like that. That's why an injection of new life, new ideas has to come in to this, because this is a league that's built on physicality and fitness, and what Gio has built, especially in his pre-season, and a team that doesn't have any physicality and who's struggling already fitness-wise, and it's the first week in November. Remember when we used to play 120 minutes back to back and battle a Celtic in the cup and everything like that? Do you remember that? Imagine this team now getting asked to do that. It'd be absolutely embarrassing. As are most of our performances against Celtic under Giovanni, where again we've had the loser defeatist mindset that we've seen in European football. So aye, there's frustration just bailing out me today, as you can probably tell, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted it to work. I'm absolutely gutted it's no work, but there needs to be a change now, alright? There's already so much damage done in the season. If we continue to do it, I didn't see it turn. I hope I'm wrong. If he does get Stein a job and everything like that, I hope he turns around and I'll be backing him and everything like that, and I want him to do well. But it just feels like we've now not only meet here where it has to be a change, we've actually went several levels, several games beyond when a change should have been made. So now there's just so much negativity and so much toxicity everywhere regarding the football team that it genuinely sucks the life out you. Watching these Rangers games is hard right now, and I'm the most enthusiastic, optimistic, annoying SOB in the world. Yous all know that. I'm sitting here watching Rangers games now like, this is hard to watch. Every time there's a thing going out, I'm like, oh no, someone's going to moan at this, they're going to dig out this lad, they're going to dig out this. It's just what's been created now, and it's been allowed to continue to snowball down this hill. So my overall thoughts and opinions before we actually dive into the game recap, which will probably be shorter now we've been speaking so long, is changes needs to be made. We need a fresh life breathed into this Rangers team before the damage that's maybe already too late, ladies and gentlemen, really, really hurts us throughout the entire season. And again, I know there's injuries, I know there's this, and I know there's that, but no one on this earth can sit and look at our starting 11, compare it to the starting 11 in St Johnstone and say we shouldn't be winning that game. Doesn't matter about our 14, 15, 16, 18, 27 injuries we've got. You look at our starting 11, you compare it versus St Johnstone, you take our starting 11 versus Livingston, you compare it versus there. You do that in every game. We should be absolutely battering. After all, ladies and gentlemen, that's the excuses we got told about in European football. We can't compete at this level. So why is our team that absolutely stands over a lot of the teams in this league in terms of their finances, their wages, their structure, the blah 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 blah, why aren't we dominating them the same way as the European teams were dominating us? If that's what we believe, that teams with more money and the teams with more finances are always going to win games, why aren't we absolutely playing these teams off the park? That's a question that I would love to have asked. But I guess I better actually discuss the game then, shall we? Because that's the title of the video. Of course, it finished 2-1 to St Johnstone. Again, another game involving St Johnstone that only was separated by one goal. Shows you how tough that they actually are. But given the chance it was created, I don't know who's more disappointed. Is it them or is it us? Because we go into the game and the first 45 minutes was dominating from Rangers. There's no ifs, maybes or buts about it. We genuinely dominated every aspect. I mean, in the first 17 minutes of the game, we had 9 corners in the game. I've never seen anything like it. But again, our tactics these days, the expected goals nonsense that someone made up once so they can start getting jobs in football, are saying outswingers are better for us. So 8 of them were wasted in the opening 15-20 minutes of this game, with the only one actually finding Sakala, who ended up hitting the bar. And that's the sort of closest we came to scoring in the opening 45 minutes. Cholak done well to hold the ball off, pass it to Lundstrom, who had a shot that was well saved by the keeper. Tavernier whipped in a good ball to get to Tillman at the back post, who flicked one over. Tillman does very well to set up a Cholak, but again, it's very well defended. So we had moments or maybes, but the closest we came was the bar from Sakala, and then you're getting closer and closer to half-time, and it was honestly one of those things like, how are we not about 4-0 up right now? And that frustration was building, and then we get the sucker punch that's been coming all season long, as St Johnstone not only score with their first shot in the game, the lad scores his first professional goal with a shot that was 25 yards out that went right in the top bin. That is a double whammy FIFA scripting Football Manager-esque moment, with all us dominating, they go down the park. But again, and I don't know how to say this without sounding bitter or anything like that. It was a great finish by St Johnstone player, like genuinely it was a top bin, scream dream. But I look at it from a Rangers defensive point of view. There is 4 chances to clear that ball. Tavernier does horrific with a pass. I don't know why he's trying to force it in the middle. I do know why he's trying to force it down the side, because that's what we get told to do. That's the strategy at this football club. He has a go. It bounces off Davies, who tries to find Lundstrom. It then hits again off Davies. Ryan Kent can get close enough to actually put a shot in, but he doesn't get close enough. Disney put the extra in, and then the boy wraps one in the top bin. It was ridiculously finished, but for me, ridiculously defended. And we ended up going into half-time 1-0 down. Just absolutely perplexed, but not surprised. I think that's the right phrase or anything like that, because it's game like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, how have we not scored? Oh, they've scored with the first shot. Of course they have. That's kind of the way to go. But again, there was still 45 minutes to set this right and everything like that. And this for me is the biggest difference in terms of our mentality, our mindset, and how we operate. And people aren't going to like this, but comparing to like a Celtic or something like that, they concede goals. They do. They're not great defensively, but do you know what they are good at? Going forward and scoring goals. So it doesn't matter when they concede, they've always got another goal in them, and that's why they score so many late goals. That's why they win so many late games. We had an entire 45 minutes to come back into this game, and it was St Johnstone who started the second half more likely to score. That for me is embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. But again, it shows you what happens when you've got a team that's built to attack and score goals, and you've got a team that's built for possession and passing it from side to side and crossing it. 2 drastically different mindsets, and I think it shows in the players as well, just their body language, how they go about their business or anything like that. They're just so structured and so hanging down to do one thing that there's none in that team. Tricks are for the circus. If only we knew that was meaning to rip every bit of imagination and individuality from this team. We thought it was a great line. People, it wasn't. It was a sign of things to come in this Rangers team, because there is no tricks, there is no excitement, there is only the horseshoe handcuffs that we play every single game, apart from Aberdeen. But again, that tricked us. Gio told us in the presser it's because how Aberdeen played that allowed us to play quickly. I felt that was going to happen. That's why I said it in yesterday's preview. I hoped and prayed it wouldn't, but it did. We went back to the horseshoe, and the horseshoe killed us again. And it honestly should have been 2-0 sooner to St Johnstone, as I think it's Stevie May again down the right. Honestly, he played like a Streets Won't Forget compilation on Twitter. He was ridiculous in this game. He run down the right hand side. I think he picks out Witherspoon in the middle. Now Witherspoon's got someone else. I'm forgetting the other player, but he's wide open for a tap-in. So he's literally a yard out. McGregor's behind him, the defender's there. He just needs to pass it, and he scored, but he ends up trying to score himself. So we get away with that, and it's probably a massive indictment in this Rangers team that the best bit of defending I've seen since Connor Golson go injured was for Witherspoon on the 3-yard line, stopping St Johnstone for making it 2. But again, did we learn our lesson? Did we adjust anything? Did we go for it a wee bit more? No, not really, people. But we did actually make a couple substitutions, to be fair, and the substitutions never changed anything. How can you make a double substitution and just slot everybody back in and play the exact same? It beggars belief, because Ben Davies ended up coming off the park, and so did Tillman for Morelos and Arfield. 2 very attacking players. We bypassed them nearly every single time they touched it, because again, we just played it wide. That's what I'm talking about. So when I say we didn't change none, and somebody says, but it made 2 subs. No, we never changed none. He's bringing bodies on, but we're still doing the exact same thing. That's kind of what I mean by that. And it was looking pathetic for Rangers, and then it got even worse. And I feel really bad here, because Leon King again is going to get slaughtered, and yes, he was poor the day. I can't say anything, but again, 18-year-old lad, he shouldn't be playing, but he's playing because no one else is able to play. And the reason I've got a wee bit of frustration for what's happening to him is we left him as the sole defender in this game. So he wasn't beside an experienced partner. Davies came off. We left that young lad and threw him to the slaughter this afternoon, having a Barisic beside him and having Tavernier as a right centre-back on occasion. It was horrific the way we set up, and that was our idea of what could get us back into this game, especially how we were playing. Fair enough if you're direct and you're attacking, but when you're playing so slow, all you're giving St Johnstone opportunities to counter you, and that's what kind of happened. They really should have got in behind, but it was actually very good defending for Barisic. No too many times I've said that over the last little while, to slide in and stop Stevie May from running through 1v1. But then, we didn't switch on. It's the same. It's the exact same thing we talked about at Celtic. It's a throw-in, people. Stevie May's been tackled on the other side of the park. Stevie May then runs to the other side of the park where the throw-in is, because obviously that's where he's going to go. No one goes there. We wait. Then we adjust after the throw's been taken. He skins, I think it is Leon King that he skins, and then he passes it in to Nicky Clark, who does what he's always done in his career. Extinctive finish, right into the top bin. Great finish for Nicky Clark, but it's no surprise to any of us, apart from the Rangers defence, that somehow wasn't expecting a ball to come in when Stevie May's on the byline and there's someone standing on a left back in the middle of the box. So it's 2-0 now, and it's looking very, very glum. And because, again, we've took Tillman off, that means we have absolutely nothing centrally at all. The few brief moments of the game where we actually looked like we could maybe be a team going down the middle, and it just, something fresh in this team was ripped away. It was just gone wide, and we started whipping in balls at a ridiculous rate, winning more and more corners. There was other moments, but of course we did get a goal back in the game, and it came from Tav scoring for his third game in a row, where the ball gets headed out. I think it's by Considine, and then Tav just hits a volley. It's in between all the St Johnstone players. I think it wrong foots the keeper as well when he's gone down. It's a good strike. I don't think the goalie can be blamed. There's just so many bodies in front of him. It's 2-1 to Rangers, thinking, right, cool, give us two more. Then we nearly got a goal within a minute as John Lundstrom hit a shot from 30 yards out that rattled the bottom of the crossbar but didn't go in. It's weird that, who would have thought John Lundstrom's quite good at shooting the football? Imagine if we allowed players like that to shoot the ball regularly instead of when it is desperation time you're trying to save your job. But hits the bar there. That's the second time we've hit the bar on the day, and I suppose there will be people that's probably going to shout at me a lot in the comments saying, we were unlucky in this game, we done this, it was one of those games. But I just feel like that excuse and that mindset of one of those games has happened too many times this season, and I just need something in this Rangers team just to give us a bit of life. And again, we have to be puffed. We had other wee half opportunities and everything like that, but it was just wasteful. It was so wasteful. And again, the corners, I've already voiced my opinion, but there was times, people, when we had the ball in a wider, or even inside the box, and instead of picking players out, we just fire it across aimlessly. I don't know if I'm seeing the game wrong and I'm talking absolute nonsense here, but it feels like when we play teams, they pick players out, they try to reach them. When we do it, we just fire it randomly into an area and hope someone's there. It very rarely looks as if we're actually crossing to an individual. It's like we'll just fire it there, and if someone's there, good. If it's no, we'll do it again in 5 minutes. And we have to be puffed. We couldn't blow the house down, and it finished 2-1 to St Johnstone in a game that again screams that changes are needed at this football club. And honestly, that's all I've got to say, ladies and gentlemen. There's not too much else. I want to know what your thoughts and opinions are, so let me know down in the comment section below. Do you, watching today's video, think there will be changes at this football club? For me, again, I've had my say, there definitely needs to be now. It's just got to a stage where it's just so bad, so toxic, so negative and so poor on the park that there does need to be a restructure here. And again, if Gio does lose his job, Ross Wilson needs to go as well. And that's all I'm going to say about the game. That's all about it. Again, St Johnstone done well. I can't take anything away from them. Did we? We never done enough. And again, that's been the story of the season. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.